Welcome to Some Guy's Garage. New tools here today, and this is pretty exciting. So Knipex, make sure you pronounce it right. I have a video on it. Go check that out to make sure you're doing it right. Knipex has released a new set of TwinGrip pliers. So I've had the 8-inch version for quite a while now, so that's this one in the middle here. But just recently, they have released the 6-inch and the 10-inch, so a smaller and a larger size in the 150 and 250 millimeter range. So if you don't know Knipex sizes, the last 3 digits are the size of the pliers, kind of the overall length. So if you see 150, it's 150 millimeters or 6 inches, 200 millimeters or 8 inches, and 250, 250 millimeters or 10 inch. So if you're ever trying to figure out what size they are, that's the way to figure it out. But the 2 new sizes just got released in the last few weeks here, and really excited to check these out and see how they fit into the workflow. And if you haven't seen the TwinGrips before here, they are a really cool type of plier, and I'll dig into why exactly that is in a minute here. So first things first, let's get these things open. Sadly, plastic clamshell packaging on these, and it is welded together. So got to cut up all this lovely packaging. Bunch of specs and stuff on the back of them here while we're looking at it, but we'll cut through this as best we can. Hopefully that does it here. See if we can get these open now. Jeez, terrible packaging. Yeah, okay, so we're just gonna... Should probably go on a rant about this style of packaging again. I've done it before, but this is terrible. Like, there's no reason to package stuff like this in 2024 here. All right. All right, there we go. So TwinGrips here, and we have them in all the different sizes. So that is the larger 10-inch size. Cool. That is the 8-inch size. It's one they had before. This was the only size you could get in the TwinGrips for the longest time. And we have the new 6-inch size as well here. Also pretty cool. Just out of the package, all the jaws, as normal with Knipex, feel great. Nice and smooth. They're not bound up. Not a lot of slop in them or anything like that. All just quite nice jaws here, and just movement on them. I did notice this button is slightly pushed, so yeah, okay, so just the way they were sitting there, but not an actual problem. So if you haven't seen the TwinGrips before, there's a few neat features. These are like a traditional slip joint plier. Let me grab one of those. So this is a channel lock, 8-inch, roughly, same sort of size here, slip joint. So usually you just slide, once you're open, you can slide that so it stays put until you slide it open, and then you can change the jaw size, and that just lets you grip larger and smaller things. But slip joint pliers usually only have 2 sizes, small and large. The neat thing about the Knipex TwinGrips is they have their push button adjustment here, and there are actually a few different spots these can slide to. You can see as it slides across there. You can open them up, and you see some of the teeth here. Hopefully you can get in close enough. You can see some of the teeth to give you a wider range of adjustments. So you can see on the widest opening part, they even are larger than a regular slip joint, but you can fine adjust. So you can come into a smaller spot, and you're still not fully closed here, like you would be if you're on the smaller spot here. It fully closes. This is not. But gives you that range of adjustments so that you can set the handles at the right width. So you're not trying to fight, say you have them like this and then the handles are too far to open, or you have it like this and now they're too far closed. You can set it just kind of at that sweet spot where you want it. So that's one of the really interesting things about the TwinGrip pliers that you don't get in a traditional slip joint. So the other neat thing about the TwinGrips is the jaw design. They have a lot of different kind of features molded into these jaws, or cast into the, actually not sure, cast, milled, machined, something into these jaws that give them ways of gripping different things. So comparatively to your standard, again, slip joints here that just have that kind of one circular area and then a flat spot, these have a few different kind of triangular grooves in them. But then the really neat thing, but wait, there's more. They have teeth in the end of the jaw as well. So you can see going kind of parallel to the jaw rather than perpendicular like most teeth. They have teeth here, and that lets you end grip with these. So rather than just being able to grip through this, let me grab something. So with a bolt, rather than just being able to grip like this, you can also grip on the end this way, and there are teeth to hold that in. Maybe not the best example with a bolt. Let's open these up just a little bit. But you could grip a bolt on the end like this, and you can see they sit into those jaws really nicely. they actually fit the hex of the bolt here, but you can grip it with the end of these pliers as well as with the flats here. So you can see there in the kind of triangular bottom groove there, or up here as well. You get kind of a better grip that way. But what is really unique about them, sorry, I'm just trying to, like that. But what is really unique about them is being able to end grip bolts this way. And that lets you use these kind of to extract things that you wouldn't otherwise normally be able to get a pair of pliers onto. You have just that little bit ahead of a bolt sticking out. You can grab them by the end and actually get a fair bit of torque and leverage on them with this style plier. And similarly with the screw, same sort of idea. They're able to, with the grooves in those jaws, grip them on the end here. So if you had a broken off head or a stripped out head, you could grab them with these pliers and still be able to turn them on end in a tight spot or something like that, which you couldn't do necessarily with any other style pliers. So what might that look like? I'm going to even use the small ones here. We'll get a decent size opening, so we'll adjust these a little bit to open them up, and a little bit more than that maybe. There we go. And we can grip onto the end of the bolt this way, and you're able, I'm going to turn the wood here, but I'm able to turn that screw out. We'll pull it all the way out here, not too deep into the board. But able to turn that screw out here with the pliers using the end grip rather than having to do it necessarily this way, which is a little more awkward. Okay, and just to provide some measurements just to see what the openings are like on these, what are they practically useful for? I'm going to go wide open on the jaws here. The 6-inch size max opening is about 1.36 inches, but kind of in the practical area, you're around 0.9, almost an inch probably on those. Moving up to the 8-inch size. So widest part here is 1.18 inches, and more practical area is 0.86. Interesting, those spread wider than the 8-inch size. Might just be handle positioning and geometry, but it's kind of interesting. We'll try them open in a moment as well. And then finally, the 10-inch size can open to a total of 1.96, almost 2 inches, but in the practical area is about 1.45 inches. Then we'll open all of these up, so up to their full size. That's the full one there. Same here. And here. Yep. So closed, so this is with the handles closed. This measures about 0.91 inches, 0.63, 65, we'll go 65 inches. Yeah, 0.96, just double checking that one. And in the groove of these, just to keep those closed, is about 0.28 inches. And then spread open again, we're looking at, well, these are huge now, probably about 2.4 inches, 1.86 inches, and 1.3 inches. So overall, a pretty wide range that you can get out of these pliers. They actually open up a fair bit wider than most and give you good kind of jaw movement, jaw opening to be able to grab onto whatever you need. Okay, and last bit of measurements, just so you have the full picture here. They are indeed 10-inch, a little over 8-inch, and 6-inch as expected. Handles when closed, these are about 2.5, and the head is about 2 inches. We'll close those up here. So those are nice and fully closed. Yep, there we go. And we are 2 inches at the widest part, and the head about 1.5 inches. These with the head open is just over 2.25 inches there, and 1 3/8 inches at the head, closed up. Make sure they're clicked in. These are 1 3/4, just about 2 inches, not quite, yeah, 1 3/4, and about a 1-inch head there. And then finally, these, while open, is 1 3/4 and about an inch. And then closed up fully, yep, is 1 3/4 and about a 3/4 inch head. So that is another nice thing, is the heads on these are fairly narrow. They don't take up a lot of room trying to get a lot of jaw width, but they're still, at least in my experience, pretty strong. And I guess just talking about what do I actually use these for. So since I've had the 10-inch size for a while, what have I actually spent time doing with these? Mostly it has been extracting stuff. So pulling the ends off of like a stripped Allen head or something like that when you need to get that forward grip. They work really well for that. I've used them for simple stuff like pulling staples and like electrical staples and things like that from wood. The end gripping on these is really good, so that's nice to be able to get in and pull and twist or whatever, or leverage on the side of the head. So that's pretty typical. I would say I don't typically use these for nuts and bolts or regular holding of things, simply because something like the Knipex Pliers wrench, something like these, if you haven't seen them, work way better for nuts and bolts. So I typically use these if I'm doing anything with nuts and bolts that need holding rather than these. And then just as a general purpose plier, every now and then you need to grab onto something, pull something, bend something, whatever. That's what I tend to use these for. The 8-inch size has been great for that, but I'm looking forward to trying the 10 and probably the 6. I tend to like the smaller Knipex pliers. I use the 7 1/4 size pliers wrench probably more than the larger 10-inch size that I just showed a moment ago. So out of these two sizes, you can see I have the soft jaws in these right now, but out of these two sizes, I tend to use the 7 1/4-inch size the most. So I'm thinking the new small 150 mil or 6-inch size of Twin Grips is going to be probably the most useful for me most of the time, depending on what I'm doing. But nice to have all of the options now in this lineup. When originally they only had the 8-inch size, having the options for a 6 and a 10 now is a nice addition to the lineup. The other pliers that they only have a larger size, this is the 250 or 10-inch as well of the Raptors. So it'll be interesting to see now that they've expanded the Twin Grip line, if they're going to do the same to the Raptor line as well and add a maybe smaller or larger size of these as well. If you haven't seen my video on the Raptors, the Pliers wrench, and the Cobras, go check that out. Oh, and the alligators. If you want to know the difference between all four of those, they're all kind of bolt or this kind of channel lock style design. Or slip joint style design, I guess you could say, but with the push button. So go check that video out if you haven't seen it. Anyway, that's my first look at the new sizes of the Knipex Twin Grip pliers, the 6-inch and the 10-inch. Like I said, I've always had the 8-inch before this. Really nice looking pliers, as always with Knipex, and nice to see them expanding the lineup here. Hopefully you'll see a lot of use out of these two new sizes. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. If you aren't already subscribed, please consider it. And as always, thanks for watching.